Hey everybody, welcome back to TAZS's Wig Closet at Wig Studio One. Today I'm going to take you through an unboxing of Belle Tress KONA in Root Beer Float Blonde. But we're gonna bring this little beauty to life coming up. KONA is a short to mid-length, full beach wave bob style cut. The beach wave is a little bit more, the curls are a little bit more intact than, let's say, a bonbon or something with a little bit more shattered, tapered texture to it. These can be kind of intimidating right out of the box because of the curl. Now, I will explain to you that Belle Tress has the heat-friendly fibers. The entire Belle Tress Cafe collection is made from the heat-friendly fiber. There's just nothing like that fiber for feel and texture. It mimics human hair. It's very fine and light. I just don't know how they do it. It feels very luxurious. I know there's a special processing technique that takes place on these before they're sent from the factory. It could be just a heavy dosing of silicone, some sort of processing oil, just to keep those fibers from creating any static, also just to protect them, okay? So it also gives a nice look and feel to them. So sometimes you'll get a Belle Tress style that appears to be a little bit greasy, and it's just because of that that processing that takes place right at the end before they ship it out to you to protect it. That will typically either wear off due to friction from wearing the wig, or you can simply wash it to help eliminate some of that. Let's get this open. This KONA by Belle Tress in Root Beer Float Blonde. The Root Beer Float Blonde has been out since 2021. It's starting to come available in all of the cafe collection styles by Belle Tress, and they keep coming out with more and more beautiful colors every day. So there's KONA nestled in the box. Okay. Okay, let's take a look. The tag is correct. It's in a weave part, which they typically do right out of the box. Now, I will say that the KONA, just because it has a little bit more of an intact beach wave as opposed to the shattered, textured ones, it still has a very light density with low permatease. I have had KONAs in the past, so I'll be sure to report on that. But see, you can get a little bit of a glossy appearance here. Again, just that finishing process that they do to protect it. It's so very soft. And the smell is just a smell of a brand new wig. There's nothing at all offensive about the smell of the fiber here. All right, so this is what it looks like right out of the box. I'm not surprised by it. Again, I think the real shock comes when you try it on, but I want to give you a look at this cap first. So this is your typical lace front left monofilament side part assembly. It typically runs temple to temple, but does not extend into the ear tab. The side part runs nearly back to the crown. So that's what you're going to see on most Belle Tress styles. They're coming out with some really unique kinds of more creative lace features. I can't wait to see what they're coming up with next. And then you've got an ear tab here. It's a nice long ear tab, rather short little stay, but ample. Lots of fiber spliced into that closed ear tab there. And that ear tab, it feels like a soft velvet. And then when you come back here to the nape, it's more of a felted nape, very, very soft, pliable against the skin. And then the telltale bra strap type adjusters. I am not a fan of these. I like them better than the hook and pocket adjusters by Aesthetica, but I like them less than the Velcro. So I don't know if, they're thinking that you can get a better fit or adjustment with this type. If it's a cost issue, I don't really know, but because I am more petite, I have to cinch these in as far as can go, and it leaves a little dangling piece of elastic and that can sometimes escape the wig cap. So you can tape it in, you can glue it, you can sew it in, but I feel like the cap relaxes a little bit with time and wear, so I never want to make a permanent sewing of them because it will stretch out and then I may have to redo it. So I really just try to make the best adjustment I can with the ingredients that I have to work with here. Lots of wefting and lots of stretch. Now the Belle Tress caps are average right out of the box. I really feel like they're more suitable for an average large and large circumference than for petite or petite average. The reason being is because there's so much stretch. There's a lot of cap here. And if you are petite or petite average, you have to make that maximum adjustment, and that leaves gaps and gathers all throughout this cap. Some unusual, unnatural looking kinds of lumps and bumps. It just doesn't fit very well. Now, I love Belle Tress. I have no issue saying that at this time, this is my favorite brand across the board. I am willing to make the adjustments and put up with a lot just to have these beautiful styles and colors in my collection. Okay, so that being said, I'm going to go ahead and make the adjustment because I certainly don't want this to roll around during the review and application, because I'm going to be messing with this quite a bit. I'm sure of it, and I don't want it popping off. So let me remove the tag. All right, so the first thing I want to do is shake, shake, shake. I shake and I pull at the root. This will separate the hair from the cap. It's so tightly compressed that if you don't do this, it's just going to look like it's matted to your head during the review. You don't want that. Now, I will caution you that a lot of return policies are very strict about the condition and the manipulation that you do on the hair, so don't try to do any of these things until you're sure you want to keep it. I wish there was a better way, but the fact is that returns are very costly to a retailer, so they have to be very picky and choosy about the wigs, the condition of the wigs that they get back in for return. Okay. So the other thing I want to do is just take a look at the weave part here. I'm going to try to separate that. And a lot of times it's harder to do on a Belle Tress because these are really steamed in there, aren't they? So the first thing I want to do is just break that up as much as I can. And again, this will help release the fiber into its natural movement. Now, I love these little brushes. I get it right at the root, and I only come out 1 inch to 2 inches when I comb, right at the root. That'll help bring it, again, make a fluffier, wispier appearance without running the brush through the entire length of the fiber. When we do that, we just create a lot of friction, wear and tear on those fibers. All right, so I guess it's time to apply this and see what it looks like. I used to hold my breath, not anymore. I can make just about anything work. Wigs are mass produced. You know, wigs are mass produced. We're all different in terms of our shape and what our preferences are. So it's hard to be it's not hard to be disappointed. It's hard to hold the manufacturer accountable for the fact that it doesn't look good on you. They're going to give you the raw product, and it's up to you to make that work for you. And if you know right away that it's not going to work for you, then you may want to consider returning it because you don't want to have you, like I said, heavily manipulated. Okay, so I fluffed it out pretty good, didn't I? So again, this is Kona. I especially struggle with wigs that have a long fringe. How is it going to work around the face? What is the best and most flattering look of a wig style around the face? So that's usually where I start. Okay, so what I can tell you right away is my biggest challenge with this, other than sometimes it looks like a mop on your head when you first put it on. There's absolutely no lift and no curl on that right piece. All right, so I know I'm gonna have to do something with that. Now I can take advantage of it just by giving it some buoyancy. What I mean is just lift and fluff to kind of bring out the natural look of it. Love the curl, absolutely love it. Now these front pieces are about 7 inches, so that's gonna stretch about 1 inch below my chin. Okay, and because there's no contour, it's more difficult to find a parting space. Now the good news is I can absolutely choose my parting space. I can move my parting space. I can create and contour a look around the face that is a winning look for me personally. So none of this bothers me right here. So just in the process of waking it up first, getting an idea of what I'm working with. Okay. Okay. Now, some of you do not enjoy a lifted look on the top or the front. In that case, this is going to be perfect right out of the box. There's really very little, if none, permatease right there at the top. So it's very flat, and then it's flat right off of that hairline. Now, I like a little bit of lift. So what I want to do first, I try this first before I use any heat or anything on a style. I always use just my hands and my creativity. So what I want to do is I just want to move that part a little bit closer to the center, but still stay on that monofilament. Sometimes that works, and sometimes it's just too stubborn to work. And then set about creating a little bit of lift. Now, what I can do is I can use the heat from my hands. This fiber responds very well to that. But I can also use heat from an appliance. I'm not a huge fan of steam anymore. I have a video coming out about that. But just the friction from your hands will create a little bit of heat. And then you direction the root in the direction you want it to go, and just apply that heat from your hand. Because whatever you do with the knots at the root, the rest of the fiber will follow. Sometimes that is effective, and sometimes I need a little more. Okay? So in this case, I think I need a little bit more. I need a little bit more contour here so that I can curl the sides around the face. So I'm going to choose a heat appliance for this project. My heat appliance of choice is just a mild hairdryer. I have a hairdryer, gosh, this thing is as old as the hills. It's probably 20 years old. It's a Conair 1875, but what I love about it has a little cool shot button here. So anytime that I sense it's getting a little too warm, I can just push that button and it blows cool air. This also helps it set the style that you've created with heat. So it just has a high and a low. I'm unable to set the temperature, but typically what I do is I turn it on, and then when I know that it's heated up, which takes just a couple seconds, then I'll put it on a low setting. So what I want to do again is just hold that root up in the areas that I want to create the contour. Hold it up and back. Apply the heat. And I'm going to only apply as much as necessary, just the minimal effective amount. Okay, so now that I've done that, I just want to test. I knew this one would be stubborn. I could tell. Let's see. So sometimes when it's stubborn, I want to take heat to the root in the opposite direction of the way I want it. So if I want this one to go to the right-hand side, I'll take it to the left and apply heat right at the root, just like I did the first time. And then when I shift it back over, it should have a little more resistance, which creates lift. Sometimes I'll put it on high just for a couple seconds just to get it that extra heat. Okay. Then I will attempt to move it back over. Okay, that seemed to be a little more effective. So don't give up, guys. I think the lesson here is just continue to work on it until you get it the way you want it. So now it's coming together for me. So I tried the heat from my hands. That was not effective as it is on some pieces. Then I tried just a low setting on the hairdryer. Not quite there yet, so I used a little bit of the high setting and really stretched it over to the opposite direction of the way I wanted it to go. That way when I put it back, the resistance will be in my favor by creating a little bit of lift. Okay, what do you think? Getting there? It's hard for me to see in the camera. Sometimes I have no idea what it looks like until I edit, but I can tell that the lift is there and the wispiness is brought out just by loosening the fiber, separating them. Okay, wow, I really kind of like this. That lace front is beautiful. I got some biological hair there. So in the front, again, you have that 7-inch layer right away, and that's exactly what gave me trouble. But when you find that sweet spot, that is your sweet spot. It's going to be great. Then there's an 11-inch layer here on the sides, and overall about 12 inches in length from the crown down. But for the most part, I just wear it as it is right up against my scalp. Isn't that a beautiful color, this root beer float blonde? It's a combination of some beigey, sandy, dark blonde, and then it has in there some more neutral blonde, some ash blonde, some platinum. It's neutral to cool. In fact, I think all of this platinum just really sets this as an overall cool look. And there's a medium brown root, which it transitions so beautifully. It's just, I forget sometimes there's a root, but it is gorgeous. I'm gonna do a spin for you, both in indoor and outdoor lights, so you can get a good look that way. We're gonna do some styling for Kona. Thanks again for joining me today. I hope this gave you hope and inspiration to work with your Belle Tress curly styles. You saw me take this right out of the box and bring it to life. So we're just going to do some styling with it today. Again, very little permatease anywhere. I expect the glasses to be beautiful with this style like this. I've never been disappointed with how glasses fit on one of the Belle Tress styles. It's great. Fits beautifully between the ear and the ear tab. Very securely as well. This is a glasses friendly style for sure. Enjoy your day, everybody. We'll see you soon on TAZSWIG Closet at Wig Studio 1.